Hanratty back to pass. Complete at the 20. The flyer. Touchdown, Notre Dame.
I feel right now that I'm the number one quarterback for Steelers.
Hanratty down the center to Seymour. Complete touchdown.
Welcome to Hanratty'S Huddle, sports talk with the College Football Hall of Famer, Terry Hanratty.
And welcome back to Hanratty'S Huddle. This is a very special edition. Unfortunately, Rob Adams couldn't join us today. I'm Dave Toromeo, and the gentleman, if you're watching this, because I am recording this on a video, and your picture is coming to us from South Bend, Indiana. Terry Hanratty. Welcome, Terry.
Well, thank you, Dave. I'm sitting here on the campus of Notre Dame, right pretty much in the middle of it. We've got a lot of, it's a beautiful setting here down by the lake and by the grotto and some of my favorite spots. Yeah. And it's absolutely gorgeous today. We've been here since Wednesday, and it's been gorgeous every day. But tomorrow looks like it could be a washout.
Oh, no.
I mean, the weather looks absolutely horrible. I was told that, we went to practice yesterday.
Okay.
And it's interesting how teams practice now. We're on a Thursday, and they were in shorts, T-shirts, no helmets.
Wow. Huh.
And I talked to the guys there and said, what's the story? 'Cause this was always like one day we did, like Tuesday we did offense, then defense, and combination day. Then we wound down to the weekend.
Right.
And but they have a new theory here. You're always coming out with theories of broadcasting or training, whatever.
Right.
But they say that you want to peak to the weekend, so you sort of come down on Thursday, right? And they do a real light workout for like a little over an hour, and they're just everything in shorts. And then today, which is Friday, they put pads on. And they're peaking their performance for the weekend, which was exactly the opposite we did when I played, and up till pretty much recent years.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting.
Okay. Well, yeah, that is interesting, and I'm sorry it's going to rain tomorrow. Hopefully, you'll be in a box anyway until you get. Well, let's explain to the people what's happening this weekend at Notre Dame, other than a wet ball game tomorrow against USC, which Notre Dame is a fairly heavy favorite, but. What's happened? Why are you there, Terry?
Well, I was fortunate to get into the College Hall of Fame this year. So we got a tour coming by. So the tour guide is talking here, and it's sort of like Subway in New York. It comes every 2 minutes. But I was fortunate enough to get into the Hall of Fame this year, and everybody who got into the Hall of Fame, their schools have a weekend for you. So Notre Dame chose the Southern Cal game. So there's the big cocktail party tonight, and I invited about 20 of my friends / teammates to come tonight.
Nice.
And then tomorrow they give me a box to invite like maybe 25 people that can come watch the game in my box. But after they'll watch the first quarter down on the field. Hopefully it's not raining, and I'll have about 10 close family, my kids, grandkids, and they'll come out after the first quarter and be introduced after the first quarter to the crowd. And they have they say they're putting some of my highlight films up on the jumbotron. Nice. And it's going to be then I'll go back to the box and enjoy the rest of the game and food and beverage. So it's really a nice occasion. The only thing that can spoil is Mother Nature. You just don't know. So we'll have to wait till tomorrow and see.
Let's just say this is long overdue, and we've talked about this in the past on the podcast, and why, because Notre Dame has a lot of the most of any college Hall of Famers, and obviously quarterbacks, a lot of quarterbacks in the Hall of Fame. So I think that hurt your chances, but listen, it's happening now. This is your on-campus salute. When I worked at the Football Foundation, I used to set these up with colleges. They're going to have a nice big plaque, which the college will keep. But that will be presented on the field. And like you said, they'll show your highlights, which, I mean, that's going to be a lot of fun because there are probably a lot of highlights to choose from. And I'm not going to make jokes today because it's not a time for joking, but it's a time to congratulate you and laud you in your career there at Notre Dame. And obviously a two-time All-American. you a national champion, you were highly rated, voted in the Heisman Trophy races. So this should be just a really special time for you and your family.
No, it really is. It's very joyous, and it's wonderful, but it's also very sad because I look through the roster of all the people that I could have invited to this thing, and sad to say, a lot of them are dead. My main receiver, Jim Seymour, I mean,
Yeah.
he was died many years ago, and we have from the starting offensive line from the 1966 national championship team, one guy's alive.
Yeah.
So it brings you back and lets you think about football in itself, and getting into the Hall of Fame is unlike any other sport. Baseball, if you're a pitcher, it's you against the batter. It's the ERA, it's the wins and losses, and that all accumulates over years. And if you have the bigger numbers, you get in. And if you're a hitter, if you're hitting 300, hitting 30 home runs a year and get some RBIs, that stuff, it's you against the pitcher. But in football, I mean, it's really the greatest team sport ever. My offensive line, which was absolutely wonderful, didn't give me time to throw the ball. If Seymour didn't catch the ball, if Nick Eddy and Larry Conjar and Bob Gladio and Rocky Bleier didn't block and run, we wouldn't have had success. So yes, the quarterback gets all the success or all the accolades, but it's really such a team sport that the thing that would have been even more happy for me and more joyous if my whole 1966 team could have got in with me, because that was that kind of a team.
Understandable, and obviously Jim Seymour, and like you had a special relationship with him as a friend, as a receiver. He's been gone 14 years, died of cancer, but obviously a great Notre Dame career, and played 3 years with the Chicago Bears. But I think he and his family will be just as proud as if he were getting in that you're being inducted.
Oh yeah, I mean it was Jim and I. We had a special relationship. We used to the old field house, which is no longer here. They tore that down a long time ago. But we used to go in there in the off season, when freshman year, pretty much, where we would freshmen after the season, our freshman year, you weren't allowed to play. But we'd go into the old field house, and if I would throw over 2 or 3 rafters, I'd be able to throw a 40-yard pass. So it was strange stuff like that you would, that you learned accuracy. You know how to put it over a couple rafters and drop it in for the receiver. But it was those things back in those kind of days where you had to sort of arrange things to make it look like it might be on the field eventually someday like that.
Yeah, well, listen, I'm sure it's great to be back there in your old stomping grounds, and it's a beautiful school. I've been there many times when I was with the Football Foundation, and the Hall of Fame was actually in South Bend. So, it's a special place. There's no doubt about it. It's a special place to play football. Interesting that they chose this week because USC is a rival, a classic rival over the years. Anything your thoughts about the game at all? Because I think Notre Dame is a 9.5-point favorite, which I was a little surprised by.
I'm surprised also. If I would, like we've said many times on the show, thank God I'm not a betting man. Because
I know, because you and I thought Indiana was going to get smoked at Oregon last week, and we were both.
Well, that worked well.
Yeah,
but I haven't picked a game right in my life, I don't think. So I just keep my money in my pocket.
Yeah,
but I would, if I was to make a prediction on points, I would put it 4.5, 5 maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
This is going to be a lot tighter. Notre Dame must put pressure on, and they haven't done it well this year. Put pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah.
And that's the whole key to it. I mean, they're down 2 running backs. So they're starting their 13th running back. We're down our starting center, which might be the most important person on the offensive line, but no one knows about because he makes all the signal calls for the blocking on the offensive line. And he does all the checking back and forth and on. A lot to me, your centers are usually the brightest football player.
Yeah.
And so these guys, and he's out for the year. He got hurt last week.
That's too bad.
Got a knee, and it's 2 years in a row, sad to say. And, but, good part about that, if there is anything great, he'll have a couple more years to play here once he gets healthy. But, we're starting a guy who's played before on spot plays, but never started a game. So, and Southern Cal has always been a team that you could actually run the ball on and you could throw the ball. They never really, put defense out there. But this year they did. And they have a really staunch defensive line, and it's going to be a real challenge for us. But I'll tell you, C.J. Carr, I was at practice yesterday watching him, and it wasn't a heavy practice, but just watching the way he just walks around the huddle in moxie, and the way he throws the ball is so casual and accurate. And the kid, he's a special quarterback, but he's going to need an offensive line that's going to really protect him. And there's, different ways. When I talked a little bit with Marcus Freeman, and, he said they're all ready to go. And I thought I could have sworn they would put some balls in some water buckets yesterday and let them throw with wet footballs.
Yeah.
Because that might be the ball they're going to play with Saturday. I mean, that's what we used to do. If we knew we were going to in a situation where it's going to be a heavy rain or even thought of it, Aaron would bring out a couple buckets of water and throw those footballs in. I mean, you're going to, if you can't throw them here, you can't throw them Saturday. So you get ready for it.
That's
and
smart.
The other thing I want to mention, Dave, that I was able to spend, about a half hour with Katie Parsegian, who's Aaron's wife. She's 97 years old. So I went over to, she lives right across the road from Notre Dame here. And she is such a wonderful person. She is the queen of Notre Dame football coaches' wives. She's absolutely wonderful. She's her mind is sharp as a tack, 97. And she walks up with a walker. And we talked a lot about Era and, what my thoughts were with Era when I was here with them. And, and she's such a huge football fan. It's crazy. I mean, how she watches all these games, and she had her opinion on a few former coaches here, which I will not say on any podcast. And it was amazing, and she was spot on.
Oh, okay. Very good.
It wasn't like she's just making something up or this and that. I'm going, whoa, I agree 100% with you.
Yeah, I think we can make some conclusions based on our previous conversations on some of those coaches.
And it was truly wonderful to spend a half hour with her, and it was, she's just a lovely person.
Oh, that's great. And that's another special part of this weekend is seeing people, that you haven't seen in many years and you may never see again. Let's be honest,
for sure. It's always great to get back.
All right. So, listen, we have to touch a little bit because Rob said we had to, so we will. Did you catch any of the Steeler game last night?
I did not.
Okay.
I hate to say that, and I'm not able to really broadcast on it, but we had so many activities here.
Yeah.
That, there's just not time. It wasn't any time to get on the TV.
Well,
but I understand.
Better off.
I understand the defense did not play well.
Well, they gave up 33 points, so I'm going to have to say they probably didn't play very well. They lost.
How did Flacco do?
Flacco did very well. Flacco played very well, and he actually outplayed Rodgers, I think. They both played well. The two 40-year-old quarterbacks, it was very interesting. At the end of the day, they gave Flacco the ball with 2 minutes left. And it was interesting because I think it was T. Higgins caught a ball. He could have run it for a touchdown, and there was about a minute plus left, but he went down at like the 6-yard line. He fell down, and they ran the clock down to 10 seconds. They kicked the field goal and won. A lot of guys wouldn't think to do that.
How smart is that, huh?
Yeah.
I tell you what, in hindsight, that's very smart. It's sort of like taking points off the board.
Right.
You don't do that. I mean, you've got to run that ball because you could have a bad snap on the kick. You could have a kicker who slips and falls. The kicker who just shanks it. There's too many variables in there that could go wrong. So you really have to. I mean, you got to give them the ball with a minute to go and hope your defense can stop them. I mean, right now, you and I talking, that sounds, boy, what a perfect thing to do. He fell right down. He knew to stop the clock. Well, it's not maybe the smartest thing to do.
I understand. It happened in a college game last week, too. And I forget which game it was. Do you remember? A back went down, and I just said, why did he do that? He should have just run it in because, I know what it was. It was the Northwestern Penn State game.
Penn State game, yeah.
Yeah, Northwestern kid went down. I said, I don't know if that was smart, but it turned out to be very smart, and they ran the clock out. But listen,
when it turns out well, you're brilliant.
Yeah, well,
to be able to make that in a split second decision.
It
Go
didn't
down here,
turn out.
boom.
It didn't turn out very well for James Franklin, although the $50 million might be a very a nice going away present. So
This is going to, I was talking with a guy from Notre Dame yesterday, and he said, this is going to cost Penn State a fortune. Excuse
unless
me.
he gets another job,
You think about it, well, wait a minute. Now, we got assistant coaches that you got to pay off, too. They all had
yeah,
contracts. So
yeah,
there's like $25 million more. So the total package that Penn State could have to pay is about $75 million. I'm told that a major shoe manufacturer is going to pay most of it, but we shall see whether that was just
yeah.
a rumor or what.
You got to remember too. I mean, these guys sign contracts, and those contracts are pretty detailed, right? So sometimes there's some language in there, and one of the things that I read was, I mean, if Franklin takes another job, then Penn State's off the hook. Penn
Yeah,
State,
that's definitely true. If he takes another job, forget it.
yeah.
But if he takes another job for less money,
Well, yeah,
then Penn State has to, you know, pony up the rest of it.
that would
So
generally,
I mean, if he took a major college
yeah.
that has a lot of money for less money, they know something's going on.
And
So they'll,
I
someone will
did.
step in and say, no, that
I don't
doesn't
know
work
if
that way.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't know if you saw this either, Terry, but this could just be an internet thing. But somebody said, that perhaps Nick Saban would be on their radar.
I would be shocked if Saban came out of retirement. I
I
think
would too.
that's as foolish that the rumors that our coach Marcus
Oh,
Freeman
oh no, no.
would take the Penn State job, and that would be probably the worst move ever for anybody. Marcus Freeman is not going anywhere. He's built a heck of a program here,
Yeah,
and it's only getting better each year. And
yeah,
the better it gets, the little easier it gets. So I think, and he's already one of the 10 top paid coaches in the country.
no doubt,
So
no
I'm
doubt.
sure that if we go to the playoffs this year or something, whatever, they'll probably bump him up a little more. But I think it's going to be Cignetti from Indiana.
Oh
To me,
no,
that makes the most sense.
well, it does make sense, but Indiana pretty much, I think, may have seen that handwriting on the wall, and they just signed him to an extension, $12 million extension
Oh, they did?
a
Oh,
year. Yeah, 12 mil a year. Uh, $11.8 million a year for the next, I think, 5 years.
oh, that's done.
That's done. Yeah.
He's finished. But you wonder where are they getting all that money?
Uh,
That's a state school, and that doesn't, no matter how you look at it. And I
Yeah.
wish him all the success in the world, but it's still a basketball school.
Well,
Indiana, and it's very difficult to make a basketball school into a football school.
right.
So
But
the quarterback doesn't want to compete with the point
Yeah.
guard. Duke has tried it, and they'll never make that a football school.
the money,
That's always
the money is coming from the conference on the TV deals, really. I mean, so the conference is paying the schools, tons of money because they're collectively involved in that money. Just like if you're a big, like because it's just a ton of money in the TV packages. So that's
yeah, but
what.
that money is not necessarily earmarked for football or athletics. A lot of that goes back to the university.
Yeah.
It's like Notre Dame, I know for a fact what they do here. I'm not sure what other schools do, but the athletic department pays the university for every player's scholarship.
Yeah.
So the money goes back to the university and all the players' scholarships. So, when every time they in a bowl game, a portion of that is going back to the university, which in a public school would be your taxpayer money.
Right.
So that would be, a little different there, where you're not using, private money at school. You're using taxpayer money in state university.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. But I mean, at the end of the day, even Notre
Everybody
Dame's
wants
money
to
is,
support it, but
yeah. You're breaking up a little bit, my friend. I'm not
yeah.
going to be much longer, but listen. And by the way, just to touch the Brewers stink. It's going to be the Dodgers in the World Series again, which is not good. And Toronto came back and made a series up with the Mariners. So that we just had to finish up on that baseball note, and then
Yeah, I was shocked that Toronto dropped the first two.
yeah, me too.
I mean, because I think they are just. I wouldn't want to pitch to that lineup.
It's a great
These
hitting
guys
lineup,
who
no
just
doubt.
crush the balls. I think now they're back on schedule here. I think it'll be a sort of a walk through the park with the rest of the schedule.
Looks like a Blue Jay Dodger World Series, and I don't, I mean, the Dodgers are starting to get annoying, but that's just me.
Well, the networks are cheering as long as you get LA in there.
Yeah, they don't want Milwaukee. There's no doubt about it.
They have no East Coast presence, so you better get a West Coast team in there.
They may have poisoned the water in the Brewers hotel room just to keep those guys. I'm kidding, obviously. So, all right, listen, enjoy the on-campus salute, rain or shine. Enjoy it. Enjoy your friends, your family. It's a great moment for you. I'm hoping they'll show a little piece of it on the game tomorrow, and wave to me when you're on the field. All right.
I will do that. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you, Terry. Stay well, my friend.
All right.
Thanks for listening to Hanratty'S Huddle. Want to get in touch? Reach out on our Facebook page. We'll see you next time.